Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on TVC News. We are live from our Abuja studio. Nigeria gained independence from British Empire on October 1, 1960, marking the end of colonial rule and the start of self-governance. This pivotal event was preceded by the British Protectorate formation in 1914, which united diverse ethnic groups under colonial administration following the 1959 federal election. A coalition government led by Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa prepared Nigeria for its independence, which was formalized with the presentation of constitutional instrument to the new nation. And 65 years down the line, President Bola Tinubu is saying that with the economic reforms embarked on by his administration, the worst is now over. The president gave the assurance in his nationwide broadcast to celebrate Nigeria's 65th Independence Day anniversary. While saluting Nigerians for their endurance, support, and understanding, the president said, and I quote, "Yesterday's pain were giving way to relief. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you reposed in me to steer the ship of our nation to safe harbor." End of quote. And still on the celebration of Nigeria has attained a net export status, recording a trade surplus for 5 consecutive quarters, with trade surplus increasing by 44.3% in second quarter of 2025 to 7.46 trillion naira, the largest in about 3 years. This according to President Bola Tinubu when he delivered his address. According to him, goods manufactured in Nigeria and exported jumped by 173% in the period under review, while non-oil export as a component of export trade now represents 48% of the federal government revenue, compared to oil exports, which currently account for 52%. And in a nationwide broadcast, President Tinubu said his decision to end fuel subsidy was not an easy one, but a necessary step to rescue the economy and redirect Nigeria's wealth to benefit ordinary citizens. The president recalled inheriting what he described as a near-collapsed economy and said, though choices had to be made.
President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria has finally turned the corner, declaring that the worst is over. According to him, yesterday's pains are beginning to give way to relief.
Under our leadership, our economy is recovering fast, and the reforms we started over 2 years ago are delivering tangible results.
Available data shows that Nigeria's gross domestic product grew by 4.23% in the second quarter of 2025, the country's fastest pace in 4 years, surpassing the International Monetary Fund's projection of 3.4%. Inflation also declined to 20.12% in August 2025, the lowest level in 3 years. President Bola Tinubu says his administration has achieved 12 remarkable economic milestones as a result of the implementation of sound fiscal and monetary policies. He also acknowledged that the country is racing against time and must build critical infrastructure for future generations, because the country failed to make these necessary investments decades ago. But his administration is setting things right.
We have a stronger foreign reserve position today than 3 years ago. Our external reserves increased to 42.03 billion this September, the highest since 2019.
President Tinubu never misses an opportunity to pay tribute to the gallantry of men and officers of the armed forces and other security agencies working tirelessly to keep the country safe. He says his government is working diligently to enhance national security. The message to Nigeria's youth demography is to continue to dream big, innovate, and conquer more territories in various fields of science, technology, sports, art, and the creative sector. The administration, through policies and programs, have deliberately targeted the welfare of this critical mass of the population.
I have a message for you, you young people. You are the future and the greatest asset of this blessed country. Our administration, through policies and funding, will continue to give you wings to fly sky high.
The necessary reforms introduced by the Tinubu administration came with so much hardship, but the president insists they are temporary and the best way out of an already bad situation.
Together, we are laying a new foundation cast in concrete, not on quicksand.
As Nigeria commemorates its 65th independence anniversary, President Tinubu's message is hope and a call to action. He says the federal government will continue to do its part to fix the plumbing in the economy. He called on Nigerians to turn on the taps of productivity, innovation, and enterprise. He urged the subnational entities to join hands in nation building. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Joining me live via Zoom for more on the president's speech earlier today is TVC News Deputy Bureau Chief and State House Correspondent, Femi Akonde. Femi, good to have you.
Thanks, Demola. Hi. Happy Independence.
Happy Independence to you too as well. Femi, the president touched so many areas of the economy, especially the removal of fuel subsidy, which he insists that it was necessary for the country's survival. For you, what is your take on that?
Well, I would say, starting from the, my general assessment of the whole speech, Mr. President's speech, he was able to reconcile the past with the present and the future. He started by paying tribute to the nationalists and Nigeria's founding fathers, Herbert Macaulay, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa, and a host of others, and then bringing it to where we are today, especially at the point where his administration assumed office, the challenges inherited from the previous administration, which he says was as a result of decades of poor administration by successive government, and then pointing the country into the future. It's interesting to see that, this time around, President Bola Tinubu, talked about hope in the sense that the economy, he says, is stabilizing. Figures shows that inflation has declined and is already easing out, particularly food inflation. And also, figures shows that our GDP has grown. The foreign portfolio investment into the country has also increased significantly. President Bola Tinubu is saying that all of this is as a result of the necessary and difficult reforms introduced by his administration. Well, right now he's going to feel, vindicated because he urged Nigerians to be patient that these reforms will soon yield results. And now he's saying that they are already beginning to yield results, and the economy has steadied. And in the coming months, and even especially before the end of his first administration, there will be a lot for Nigerians to point to as dividends of these reforms introduced by his administration, particularly as the state and the local governments now have more money at their disposal due to the removal of fuel subsidy that has ensured that the country saves more money and devolves it to the subnationals and the local governments. But one thing is instructive in his speech. He's calling for all hands to be on deck. It's not the responsibility of the federal government alone. He wants the subnationals to also join and assist in helping, drive or steer that ship of nationhood to where the president wants it to be. Demola.
Thank you very much, Femi. And that's our State House correspondent, Femi Akonde, joining us live for